and welcome back to another episode of The Male Perspective. I am your host, Lana, Reid, and today on this day, I am so fortunate. I have another brother of Alpha Phi Alpha, Fraternity Incorporated, that took time out of his day to sit down and talk with me. I have brother Jay Watkins of Beta Mu Lambda from Salisbury, North Kakalaki, North Carolina, for those people not from the South. Here, he's taken some time to talk to me today, and we're going to learn about his chapter and some other things that he's got going on, and I'm going to pick his brain about a few other things. But first and foremost, as I always do, I take a quick moment to pause, say thank you to you, sir, for making time for me today. Time is a gift. Once we give it, we can't get it back, so I truly appreciate you setting aside this time in your day to talk to me. And with that, sir, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It's an honor to be here. Thank you so much.
So let's talk about your chapter. First of all, I was roaming around your website being nosy, and I see you guys have been around for quite some time, 1939.
1939, August 21st, 1939, to be specific.
So please share some of the history of your chapter with us as we get started.
Yes, ma'am. So as you said, we were chartered in 1939. We are the 155th house of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. Yeah, we're housed out of Salisbury, North Carolina. Our charter members came together and decided that our area needed to be served. During that time, it was a lot of recent graduates that went on to do higher education. Upon graduation, they moved to the area. There was no chapter to be affiliated with. And so, boom, and we're thankful to those charter members. And I can name them, T. Allison Jr., Hatcher A. Day, James L. Hallowell, Troy Johnson, Howard W. Miller, and a lot of other great brothers came together to make this possible. And so we did go through a lull after the charter occurred. We were very fruitful and vibrant for quite some time. Towards the end of the 1990s, early 2000s, we did hit a gap, and the chapter kind of shut down. There was nothing happening. Yeah, and so and so we were brought back by our brother, Brother Lamont Foster, who came back and breathed life back into the Beta Mu Lambda Chapter. And here we are today. We are today, strong, and doing some things that I'm sure our jewels are our founding fathers.
Very proud.
They only thought of. Yes, ma'am. And so we're just happy to be of service to our communities.
Awesome. And as I was roaming around the website, and correct me if I'm wrong, and you kind of alluded to this, it seems like when it comes to your chapter, Alpha Phi Alpha has truly passed the torch, and most of the membership is younger in age.
Yeah, we are now. We have a really good blend, though. I will say we have a lot of seasoned brothers. That's what I call them. seasoned brothers, well educated, well versed, involved on national levels, have been, a part of very, very important movements in what we call ANCA, which is the North Carolina Alpha Man Association. Which that's what we're a part of. And so Alpha South is our region, and so Alpha South is the powerhouse of Alpha. Any of our brothers that you meet with after this or before this, make sure you let them know that. But we really, we're fortunate to have those brothers as a part of our chapter. They're so knowledgeable, and us younger brothers, and I mean young in the sense of not even age, but just in membership. We take a lot of pride in that and being able to reach out to them and get questions answered, even if it's something, hey brother, I was thinking about this random question. If we were in a meeting and this happened, it could be the silliest thing. And they're very, very patient. And we love to pride ourselves on the fact that we say that nobody's A is bigger than anybody else's. We're all one alpha. And so it's very, very important for us to make sure that what's being passed down is continuing to flow in the way that it should, and also that we reach up and we're able to, gain that information.
Beautiful. I love it. I have been around you guys for quite some time. I'm one of them seasoned people that you were talking about. So
that's the only way we get the work done. That's the only way we get it done. We need the knowledge. We can get out and do the work, but sometimes we don't know what we're doing. So
you need some experience. You need some experience.
Yes, we do.
So let me ask you, because like I said, I was roaming around social media website and looking at some of the things you do. I see that you in the past or currently have partnered with Rowan Helping Ministries and Salvation Army. So just kind of explain what your chapter does to serve the community in your area. What are some of the projects you guys are involved in?
Oh, so that's a great question. we do a lot. We do a lot. And I'm very, very proud of my brothers. And I'm going to name drop here and there because they've taken on very, very important roles and made a lot of things, as I said before, come to life. And before speaking on that, I kind of want to touch on just moving back through like how we kind of went through that lapse. I came into the chapter in 2016 and I had
you were a baby.
I'm still young. I'm still young in the chapter, but I had so many ideas and things I wanted to do that quite frankly, we couldn't get done. We didn't have the numbers. We didn't have the workforce. It wasn't able to be done. And so now I'm very, very excited to see my brothers and in particular, the Rowan Helping Ministries, again, being a native of Salisbury, North Carolina, and our chapter being, housed there. It's important for us to get back to the community, but it's very, very important to me personally because I see these people. I grew up around these people. I still go home. I mean, I only live an hour away. So it's my parents still live there. My grandparents live there. So, it's true to me. And so Brother Xavier Sloan, God bless him. He has been the ringleader, the moving force in our partnership with Rowan Helping Ministries. We've given back with them in ways of working with their food kitchen, feeding the homeless or feeding the less fortunate during the holidays and during the regular season, just coming in and being able to provide some smiling faces, a couple of jokes here and there. We love to crack jokes and just being present and talking to the people, hearing their story, and kind of ministering to them in some way, shape, or form. We also have the opportunity to, they do housing processes where they kind of set individuals up that are experiencing, housing insecurities. To bridge them into, a new independence. And so they'll house them, put them on an allowance type rent situation.
I got you.
Yes, ma'am. So we went out to those properties that are located where their main facility is. And we stained the decks on the homes. So we went out there, stained them, stained the fences. I could tell some of my brothers never touched the paintbrush in their life.
I was going to say some college boy. Okay, we got some manual labor. What?
Exactly. But so much, we got it together at the end there, and so that was exciting. We've also, helped them sort clothes from their clothing drive and things like that. And so he has really spearheaded those projects. Again, Brother Xavier Sloan is just so thankful for him for creating that partnership that we see will be, as long as they want us, we want to be there. And so we're just excited for that to roll out, and we just pray for growth in the area.
Okay, awesome. See, y'all, I didn't pick that up from reading the web, looking over the website. Yeah. Y'all were making a comeback. Don't call it a comeback.
Yeah, exactly. We're doing a lot of things, and so that's one thing that's very, very exciting is that partnership, and again being boots on the ground. I love the work. I love the work, and we all do.
Ain't got no choice being an alpha man. I mean, that's you're here to serve. You're here to serve.
Exactly, right. So can't wear a suit everywhere.
Well, let me talk about you try. Yeah, let me distinguished men of Alpha Phi Alpha, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So let me talk about one of the things that I have always known alphas to be involved with, and that's the mentorship of the youth, especially the young boys. And one of the things that comes to mind when I think of you guys is there's this piece of artwork. It's been around for years, and it's a picture of a young boy staring in the mirror, and then on his reflection he sees, it's different versions, but this one I'm going to be talking about, he sees himself as an alpha man. What are some of the core areas that alphas are known when it comes to the mentorship of young boys, and what are some of the things that you guys do to kind of make sure they do their journey and do it well?
It's a great question. And so we do have a national program through Alpha, go to high school, go to college, which is pretty much a mentoring program that is geared towards preparing those students to make that leap to college. I will pat myself on the back here, and I will say that 2016, I forget which year it was, again, coming to chapter 2016, when we have our regional conferences. We had the conference in Concord, North Carolina, which you know where that is. It's right between Salisbury and Charlotte. And so I was recently over youth programming for our chapter specifically, and we were co-hosting the event, right? We were helping run it. So
I know me some important people. I know me some important.
I thought I was.
Let me rub some shoulders here.
I will say that I wanted to do some type of youth program because every conference there's a youth component.
Okay.
Unbeknownst to me, historically we hadn't had the youth component. So I'm like, let's do it. And keep in mind, we got our general president coming here. So this is real. And so I partnered up with two great brothers from the Charlotte chapter, Beta Mu Lambda.
Okay.
And we made it happen. We had literally, I think it was about 40 young men that came, and we fed them, and we had speakers, and it was just exciting. And so that kind of drove my passion to say, what can we do at home in our home chapter to that great scale? And so that kind of rolled out to us partnering with a lot of different schools. We partnered with schools in Concord, a charter school in Concord, where we had brothers that were working at that school. Okay. We work with churches, and most recently we've had kind of a mentorship component where we bring students into those events where we do the Rowan Health Ministry, so they can see how we give back, right? How we're working. Most exciting right now is that we are preparing to partner with the Salisbury graduate chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated to work with their bows for their upcoming debutante ball. Okay. So they're young men that are going to be working with their debutantes. The organized plan is for us to come in and mentor them and do some things with them. And so we have a national partnership with Big Brothers of America and things like that. But again, that local aspect is very, very important. And so we strive to, and I can say, transparently, we haven't struggled getting it done. The struggle has been a lot due to consistency. And so, youth are very, very attached driven. And so our gaps when we, say a brother works at a school, we partner with that school, the brother relocates to another school. Now, it makes it harder on us to be able to get into the spaces and do the things we want to do. And so now we're really, really challenging ourselves to figure out how we're going to lock in. And excited. I know Battle of the Bands is coming up in Georgia. Our chapter just made a very, very generous donation to communities and schools of Rowan County, which is where Salisbury is, in order for them to make that trip. And so we'll be partnering with them. 3 of our brothers will be traveling to Georgia to work with their students as they go on the college day and do the whole college thing, the HBCU college thing. And just,
so the kids get to go. So the kids get to go down there and see the.
Yes, ma'am. Everything. Get to go see the drum major. Get to go see it all. And learn about some college opportunities in the process. And so. Our president, Brother Al Parker, he came to us and he had met with communities and schools. They said a dollar amount they needed. We've been working hard. So
there you go.
We were able to fulfill that.
I can see now the kids' eyes, big as saucers, like, woo-wee, this is what college life is about.
Yeah, then they're going to be hurt that second week when they got to write a paper. So, you only get to do this if you stay in school.
That's right. You got to stay in school. Well, let me ask you, this is a lot of, how many brothers are there currently in your chapter? Is it a lot?
Currently, so we have 37 brothers on our roster.
Oh, it's not that many doing all this work.
We're a medium-sized chapter. That's what I tell people.
Congratulations to you guys. Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, it's very, very, it's enlightening. To go into these places.
He's being nice. It's enlightening, yo.
But it is stressful in some aspect to know, you got 37, but as you stated before, we have a lot of young brothers, inexperienced brothers who want to do the work. You don't quite know what you're doing. And so that creates some obstacles. And then we have, elder brothers that my brother's keeper, another national program that we try to lock in on, which is ensuring that our elder brothers and their households are taken care of, right? Their spouses. Do y'all need groceries? You need somebody to come cut the grass? Awesome. So we're, again, Alpha is taking into account brothers, Alpha from day one to the end. And so, yeah, we're small. We're a medium-sized chapter, but we're small. We're small. You think about like a Charlotte chapter, I think currently they have they're above 150.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh. So, yeah. So,
So for y'all to get the work done is saying something then.
Exactly. To get the work done, to raise the dollars that we've been raising, to be involved in the things that we're involved in, it's impressive. I'm not going to cut no blows because nobody's giving us anything.
Pop your collar.
We're working. So we've earned a lot of things that we're doing. And I'm just excited for the growth. So.
Yeah. And one of the things I saw, one of your programs that you guys are really knocking it out the park with your voter registration or your voter.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah. So we partnered with Black Voters Matter. And that was one of the first, I was vice president of the chapter at the time, our president at the time, our immediate past president, Brother Cordero Jones. He spearheaded ensuring that grant partnership with them, where we secured a $5,000 grant to do some voter education. And so Voteless People is a hopeless people, another national program. It's like, how many programs y'all got?
That's all right. We need them all. We need them all.
We really do it. So they kind of disbanded, going door to door, doing things like that. And so we had to get creative. And so, one of the things we did was a drive-through voter registration.
Yeah.
Just pull up and go register to vote.
Okay.
And then that was one small thing. And then we got kind of ridiculous with our ideas. Say, hey, let's do a party at the polls. And what does that look like? And so we partnered with, again, we were with Black Voters Matter, and we used those funds to cook out. We got a grill master to come out. We got a DJ to come out, and we literally went, and I'll tell you how things work. On the property where we were doing the party at the polls, security told us we couldn't be there. So you think about, we've coordinated all of this, and it was free. So we were giving all this food away. We were just rewarding. We didn't care who you voted for. That wasn't what the conversation was. We were empowering. Yes, ma'am. Exercise your right. Exercise your right to vote, and learn who's on your local ballot, right? And that's to everybody watching this podcast. See who's serving your communities.
Thank you.
Locally, because that's way more important if we want to be honest. But told us we couldn't be there. So, like the alpha men we relocated about 50 yards away, and we gave away all that food and played cornhole with the people and talked and laughed. And so that was exciting for us. And we're just looking forward to continue doing party at the polls, again, voter registration. Most recently, we did another party at the polls partnership with 102 Jams, which is a local radio station here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we did the same thing, gave some free food away, some voter education materials, provided people with their ballots, line up for, Democrats and Republicans, because, you again, exercise your right to vote. And so just even rattling these things off, I'm impressed.
I'm impressed. Well, I'm impressed. You guys have always impressed me over the years that I've been, but when I learned, when you said it was so, well,
yeah, that changes it.
I was like, whoa, just 34 brothers. Okay, whoa. But let me take a sidebar here, because we're talking about voting. And one thing I do know is Alpha Phi Alpha services the communities that look like us. Yes, and when it comes to talk about voting, what do you say? I'm pretty sure you've experienced this. When you get the people that look like us, oh man, I ain't gonna vote. My vote don't count.
I take two different positions on that. me and my letters, again, let's talk about it. Let's talk about the things that are bothering you in the community, or what is, because we don't know a lot of things, and and that's a handicapping situation for our communities, because we only know what we know. And so people ask all the time, like the census. People don't know why they do the census. They don't know. But when you learn that, okay, the census is going to ensure that you get more bus stops in your community, more benches for your elderly that are waiting on the bus. When you hear things like that, it inclines you to do more. So in those conversations where people are saying, or I can't vote because I'm a felon, right? That's something we encounter a lot. I personally didn't know it was ways around that. I never knew that until talking to somebody about it, right? They were like, it's a system or a program that you can go through to learn how. I didn't know. But
that's the way they keep our communities from not being involved, though.
Exactly. And it's everything is designed.
It's designed. But that's a whole nother conversation.
It is. And if you do another series and you want me to come back, we can spend 30 minutes on that as well. But yeah, I just encourage them to say, what is the problem that you're facing or you see going on? And then listen to the people saying they want to address those problems.
Okay.
Provide them with your vote. Right? Provide them with your vote. Because if they win, they're now serving you, right? You have the right to speak up and say, hey, what happened to you doing this? This is what we talked about you would do on a local level. You can't go. I mean, you can go to DC and yell at the White House. Not much is gonna happen. And you try to scale that fence, you'll find out. But you can go to, you're gonna find out. You're lucky you can get those. I'm gonna get something else. Yeah, I want you to get those. I don't really get nothing else. But you can go to your city council meetings. You can go to hear your mayor speak, right? You can do those things and quite possibly go to functions, luncheons, dinners, because these people, again, they live amongst you. Make your voice be heard. So that's kind of my push and drive, is to say, hey, locally, we can only do it together.
Yeah, I can just imagine you guys out there doing your thing and trying to do voter registration, and a whole bunch of us be like, man, I'm just here for the hot dog. I ain't trying.
I'm not gonna eat. Can I get some food? Of course you can. Like, of course, I'm still kind of, and then while you're eating, let's talk.
Yeah.
Let's take the moment to educate. Because it's some people that came and asked us, can they get some food? Because I guess they had a preconceived notion of our opinion of how they were presenting themselves, right?
Oh, okay.
Are we allowed to eat this food? Yes, ma'am.
Gotcha.
I don't care who you voted for it. Like I'm glad you voted.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Just as long as you exercise your right. Yeah, that's sure.
Yeah.
We gonna all get in. Well, let me circle back here, because you mentioned two concepts that I kind of want to tie together. You talked about Brother's Keeper, and then we were talking about voting and how it impacts the community. One of the things that, when you look at a bigger, larger scale of what Alpha Phi Alpha is, it is really a intergenerational village kind of thing. So you have older brothers you can go to and say, man, my wife is getting on my nerves. Can you give me some advice? Or I'm about to be a father. And in turn, he can, the older brother can say, man, I don't know how to work all these apps on my phone. Can you help me out or whatever? Or can you take me to the doctor or whatever, like you were saying earlier? You have this intergenerational village, right? This design. How does that, now that you've learned all that, seen all of that, especially coming from Salisbury, and I understand some of the dynamics of Salisbury, how is that beneficial, this design, to our own communities, especially our communities of color?
It's priceless. It's priceless. I even get emotional thinking about it, just to be honest with you. My father's in my life, has always been in my life. My parents are married, but my background and my working has been in nonprofit historically, and with youth and disgruntled families, and just a lot of stressors, and seeing those things. And so when you come into something like this, you become a part of this brotherhood. It's just it's so refreshing, and it's really like a family. Sometimes you get tired of it. You ain't gonna lie, I get tired of it. We get into it, we go back and forth, we get rowdy. But at the bare roots of all of it, it's priceless, because what it shows the community is that we're not all killing each other. We're not all fighting each other. We're not all expressing hate and negativity. And when people come and see us doing something, you can see it. Like I can recognize the respect and the love in that moment. And it literally is life changing. Every holiday season for the last couple of years, we've been doing holiday turkey drive. And the reason it's so special to me is because I birthed that idea when I first came to chapter, say, hey, I want to do this, right? I said, I want to do this. I want to do this, brothers. Can we do it? You know how many turkeys we gave away? Just guess. That first time I wanted to do it. You know how many? Just don't even be dramatic. Be just remember, we were like
34, right? 34, y'all.
15, it was like 15 of us dead, and 5 of us that just came in.
50?
I wish. We gave away one. We gave away one.
Oh, baby.
I know, and I was proud. I was so proud. I was like, this is amazing. I was happy.
It's a start. We're gonna build on this. It's okay.
It was lovely. And then last year, I think we had like 30 or 40. And then this year, we gave away turkeys, chickens, and hams, and bags of fresh vegetables and canned goods and this and that and this and that. But my point being, we all out there together. We had some youth come out, they were volunteering, had a partnership with another organization. They came out, 2 organizations actually came out to support. And it's just, it hits you in a moment of doing the work. And you like, you just kind of look around.
This is what it's about. This is what it's about.
Yes, ma'am. How far we've come. You know, you got people coming up. And of course, you know, they're not the proudest coming up. You know, it's insecurity that comes with that. And we're understanding of that. It's quite frankly, everybody's about 2 paychecks away from losing everything they have.
Don't take much. Don't take much.
If we want to be realistic. And so again, we're happy to be there to say, hey, you're human, right? It's okay. We're here to help our community and serve our community. And so when we come together, and that community is like you said, whether it's, hey, can you do this for me, or can you help me? I'm trying to buy a house. Educate me on this, brother. How did you get that? We got brothers to sell cars. I'm trying to get a lower rate. Can I refinance and still have my car under my gap warranty and all this stuff? So again, it's like I said, I have my dad, but I didn't have any older brothers, and so
you've got that now. You've got that.
I do. I had a lot of uncles and a lot of and a lot of nephews. Right.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. It's fun because what it is, and through talking through that with you, what I realize now is that we all have a responsibility to each other in our own unique way, whether it's a respect by looking up, or a respect by reaching down.
That's right. Awesome.
Man, so
it's a beautiful thing. It's beautiful. And I just have digressed one thing. You guys gave away turkeys and all that stuff. With the price of eggs and Easter coming up, y'all need to give away some eggs. Y'all need to give away some eggs.
Look, if we get a partnership with some eggs, they might be a little short. I might have to take a couple to the house. So we're gonna give you them up. But not seriously, look, that's crazy. Inflation. I'm egg whites for me. Egg whites for me. I can't keep up with y'all getting them done. I ain't about to be fighting these folks.
I ain't mad at you.
I'll pass that idea on though.
I know, get some eggs. Y'all need to give away some eggs. People be waiting for them eggs.
They say ain't nobody dying eggs this year.
Nobody. We ain't having no Easter egg hunt this year.
No, you find them, you keep them.
Well, let me ask you this. You said you grew up in Salisbury, and I passed through there a couple times, but I'm not really concrete on the dynamics. But I'm pretty sure you've grown up with brothers who went a different direction in life than you, right? So now that you're here at this place in your life, and you've experienced Alpha, and you've experienced some other things, in your opinion, what are some key factors when it comes to young boys, especially young Black boys, that determine whether or not they're going this way or whether or not they're going that way?
It's a great question. Representation is everything. What I embodied, even through Alpha now, and I tell my brothers all the time, it's a stigma that comes with Alpha, right? The arrogance and all of these other things. Me coming into it, I initially was I've always worked hard, and I think a lot of people have a perception of me or anybody else that, things were given to me, which I hate that idea. Are
you only child?
I am not. I have 2 older sisters, but
are you
I am the youngest and I am the only boy, right? Which that's what people lean towards. But the point being, I am a great son, right? So I feel like being spoiled is when you receive something you don't deserve, right? And so my thinking always was, because I want to get good grades, but I want to be cool too, right? And so it's like, how do you balance these things? And it took a long time for me to realize you can absolutely be both. And in any interaction with the youth, that has always been my platform. Is being smart is cool.
Yes,
that's cool. It's really like whatever you aspire to be in life, you're going to need this, right? Of course, a lot of things happen by I'll call it luck. I'll call it luck, but luck
happenstance,
when preparation meets experience is really what luck is in my mind. But it just happens, right? But if you really want to come out on top, you got to have some wit about yourself. And so again, representation, being young and being in these spaces, our older brothers are not going to be able to have an impact on a high school student. It's not going to work.
We say that kindly. We say that kindly.
Yeah, and with love. I say it with love. I say it with love. But I know they need to see somebody, because even when I was working with, I was 20, what was I, 24, 25. I was managing sites with a nonprofit, working with at-risk teams. They thought I was old. I can only imagine, you know, with you 55-year-old brother, he know what he's talking about. He cool too. Dressed nice, got a good job. They ain't trying to hear that.
No,
Yeah,
you're not relatable to me.
yeah,
Yeah.
not relatable. And so, listening to the same music. We both know which Jordan coming out next, right? I'm watching the game tonight. It's things like that that are very, very important. And also, yeah, I know all of that, but I also have this credit score.
Yes.
I also take care of what I need to take care of. Yeah. So that's really the thing. Representation and being up in their face, they have to see you and know you're there. Being present is another major key to that. And just being involved. So that's really what it's been for me. And it's going to remain that way, I believe. We got to be boots on the ground.
Awesome. That's true. That's true. Does your chapter currently run the, what is that Alpha program? Youth leadership?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, Alpha Leadership. Yeah, our Leadership Institute. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, and so we do so much. It's just so hard.
I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. I need a script here. Like, let me get
ALI. Yes, ma'am. ALI, Alpha Leadership Institute. Brother Brandon Burgess is over that program, and he is. We're revamping it. We're really trying to, like I kind of touched on earlier, hone in on what group will be ideal, if any. We're teetering between a lot of different ways to approach it, and so it's coming at that point again, representation. We want to be wherever we are. We want to be locked in there, right? We don't want to insert ourselves in their lives and then remove ourselves, right? That's not healthy for anyone.
True. That's
yes,
true.
ma'am. So, they experience enough of that, and I won't get on that, but wherever we are, we want to be, rooted in that space. And so that's something that's very, very, important for us right now, in the forefront of our minds and planning. And so we're pushing through these humps. Currently working on getting our scholarships rolling. We're awarding 3 scholarships this year through our fundraising efforts. And so again, that'll give us another platform to have youth apply and be able to, again, be in positions to discuss with our high school potential students. Hey, this money's here and we're looking to award it. So
So since you guys are a younger chapter and a smaller chapter, do you have the opportunity to kind of bounce stuff up? You said you have the Charlotte chapter that's close by. Do you
yes,
have,
ma'am.
So you have some advisory?
We do, but our brothers in the chapter, so we have a brother in our chapter. So of course we have 7 jewels. Of Alpha Phi Alpha, right? And so this brother is referred to as affectionately as a potential 8th jewel. It's funny, but it's because we're
gonna show him this after this.
He's knowledgeable. He knows everything. He's worked on Alpha on every level. I texted him before I got on here with you. I said, is there anything that you need me, anything pressing in your mind that needs to be said? Oh, he just said the scholarship, but we he's currently our treasurer. Yes, ma'am. And if we didn't have him managing the finances, because again, it's a lot of things that we all have to sit down and learn, right? It's certain taxes that our chapter has to pay specifically and things like that. Yeah, another very seasoned brother Orlando Mitchell, again, he was a part of the rebirth of our chapter in the early 2000s. He actually attended Livingstone College, located in Salisbury. And he crossed there at the Beta Mu Chapter. So being now a part of our chapter, he's been just his influence has been just it's amazing. And that's what I say about our chapter. We could, we do Beta Mu Lambda is a chapter that's more related to our size, that is very, very successful. And so partnering with them and discussing with them and their one of their past presidents, me and him got pretty close, Brother Holland. He gave a lot of influence to our immediate past president and kind of their pushing towards doing things to a greater scale with smaller numbers, and just lined us up with great ideas, volunteer opportunities. And so, we share the sugar. We communicate, but we've got some powerhouses in the Beta Mu Lambda chapter. We blessed.
Y'all coming with it. Y'all I'm gonna pass through there in a couple years. I'll be like, hey, these brothers done did the thing.
Go see, listen, the city might be gold. The city might be gold. I'm gonna go to Mississippi. We'll see. Yes, ma'am. But we're definitely fortunate to have those brothers in our chapter, and their influence is just priceless.
Okay, awesome. So let's honor your older brother's wishes here. These scholarships, break down like who's eligible for them and when can they apply and all of that stuff, so we can make sure he's not upset with us.
Well, exactly. So we're actually next we'll be meeting. Is it tonight? We'll be meeting to finalize. I believe is it tonight? Probably. My calendar is ridiculous, but we'll be meeting to finalize those points. But I can tell you that our eligible or ideal student will be a Black male. Okay. GPA over a 2.5 is where we're aiming.
Okay.
Of course, must be accepted to your next school. Or actively applying to schools' rights receive that, because we'll be awarding that closer towards graduation.
Okay.
I believe we'll set a deadline as March 31st has been our deadline for that application.
Okay.
And you'll have to write an essay and express, one question. So that question will be posed on the essay. We'll actually be dropping that link really, really soon. And so as soon as we lock it in, we want to be, reading through those entries, and we want to encourage, churches to get on board. Okay. Any of our D9 organizations that have, sons, nephews, we want them to apply. We want them to apply and get a piece of the pie. They're well deserving again, and we want to, we plan on housing a banquet to award those dollars to those students, and we want to be in a position where every year, this can be a rolling scholarship. So we want to be able to, reward our students that received our scholarship going into college each year throughout college. So that's one idea we're bouncing around. But yes, ma'am. I mean, it's an opportunity given scholarship. If you've been working hard, and it's yours.
Them books ain't cheap,
They're not. And so any dollars help. I'm in grad school right now. Them books are not cheap. They are not cheap. I hate paying for them. But again,
you gotta do a little something strange for some change in a minute.
Exactly. I'm gonna have to figure something out. I'm about to apply for our scholarship. I think I got a good shot. I know somebody.
You know somebody to know somebody.
Exactly. But you know what I mean? We encourage you to apply. Again, we're giving back to our community. There's so many dollars out there for other entities and other groups, and so
beautiful. I love you guys. I love you guys. Don't tell the rest of them.
They already know.
I can see it now when this comes up. Lana, we thought you liked us. I do, but
Yeah, it's okay though. It's okay. It's a natural affinity. It's all right. We're just those type of guys. But
there goes that black and gold arrogance. Okay, all righty. So I got one more question for you, then I'm gonna ask you my random question.
Okay.
Because let's see here. Let's say in the process of, doing one of your youth mentorship programs, and you're working with the young boys, or you just come across a young man, and he's kind of been watching the way you move, and he finally comes over to you and says, Mr. Watkins, since you've been an Alpha, how has that made you a better man, made you a better person? What would your reply be?
Man. A really good question. We always talk about, and it's funny. I'm laughing because I tease my brothers all the time, especially my line brothers. I felt so different coming into this space. We always say we were alphas. We've always been alphas. We just don't wear the letters. Mm-hmm. But for me, I think the difference has been I'm connected to something for the rest of my life, right? And it's just mind-blowing to go places and meet brothers and just introduce yourself and just have a quick conversation. I went to the African American History Museum in Washington, D.C., and I saw a brother, but the interaction was funny because you could tell that we both have been looking for each other all day. Not specifically, but like you've been looking for an album.
I know there's one up in here. I know there's one up in here.
I've seen so much purple in this place. I'm like, where are we at? and we walked past each other. We might as well had a slow motion run. It really was like, and his girlfriend was looking like, finally, like, okay, we can go home now. Like, but it's made me just much more aware. That's one thing. I've always been, conscious of my surroundings, but really, really knowing that I am a representation of this great fraternity at all times in all things I do. We have fun. We have great times together, but we do the work. We do the work. And we represent ourselves. And I would tell them, I'm gonna say, hey, when you get onto the other side, and I tell people all the time, a lot of people aspire to be a part of something. Your idea of what Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated is, it might very well be that, whatever you think it is. When you get on this side, this is the only thing you will pay to be a part of and work. You're going to work. Yes. You are going to have to work. So, it's giving me these intangible things, but really a family when I'm not near my family. I can call on somebody and know from the smallest thing, like, hey, I need help moving. Like, I need help moving. Can somebody help me? And I can know
and they're there. Done.
Yes, ma'am. And that can be done. If they call me and they need something, I tell people all the time, if I can't do it, I'm gonna say no. If I can do it, I will. And if I don't know, I'll try to find out.
That's true.
And that's all, and that's every brother in the Beta Mu Lambda Chapter. And quite frankly, my interactions with Alpha as a whole haven't been quite, different from that. And so, I encourage, all young men to, if you aspire to be a part of something, and I'm gonna say this, and I know you want to get to your next question, but I always have to share this story because it's right on the head of what you're saying. I was going through, my what we call our IMDP process, which is our onboarding to join the fraternity, where we do our classes and things like that. And it was the final day, and the final day is comprised of my brother's keeper community service component. What we did was we went out to an older brother's home and we raked his yard, cleaned his yard up, got it together. He had a beautiful home. And at the end, he said, y'all, everybody come on the back porch. He had a cooler full of Gatorade and water. God gave us something to drink, told us to sit down. And he goes into this whole speech. And it blindsided me because I hadn't thought about the position he was taking. And now I'm much more aware of myself in this fraternity. The crux of his point was, you all are great men. You could have been anything. For me, I'm like, yeah. Pretty great, just joking to myself, but you could have been anything, but you chose to pursue Alpha, right? I said, wow. And then he said, thank you for considering my fraternity. And it blew my mind. It literally, and I don't know if anybody else sitting on that porch remember this story. I don't care. It blew my mind because in that moment, I realized what he saw in me, I didn't even see in myself, right? He saw the future of the fraternity. He saw the hard work I was beyond the lecture. He saw me as a person. And so that's what's important with us. When we're interacting with these young men, we see them as people first. Of course, we want them to be alphas, right? If they're hardworking and they're representative of what we see as our great fraternity, because there's some people that I would never want to wear my letters. Ever. It's a lot actually. But if you see that in them and you had that conversation, I'm always willing to, I'm never shy with the information that can be shared with individuals I feel like should be, that would be impactful, but also be impacted by what we're doing with this Black and No Gold. Awesome. I just want to share that.
That's awesome, sir. And before I do my random question, my one request of you would be to, when your time comes, that you deliver that same speech to that gentleman.
Absolutely. And I will. I'm looking forward when I get in my porch. Come back there and rake these leaves up. Yeah.
I done earned my ring. I done get up there and rake them leaves.
I got the Gatorade in the water though. I'm gonna take care of them. I got you. Yes, ma'am. You can count on.
All righty, dear. Let me see what we got for a random question here. And then I will have you share how we visit your chapter when we're up your way, or maybe donate and all of that stuff.
Absolutely.
I saw, it might have been some years back. I saw y'all had a little party. I said, yeah, these some young folks, these some young brothers. They had a party at the club.
We still talking. We did. We try to have a good time though. We still have, but we're putting the work in. So it balances itself.
You got to balance it out. Okay. What is the worst purchase you've ever made?
Oh, the worst purchase I've ever made. Oh man. Worst purchase I ever made. Okay. What is the worst thing the worst purchase I've ever made? This is actually recent. I bought a laptop. I bought a new laptop for school. Excited about it. Get the laptop in. I'm sitting there uploading stuff. My master's is in business intelligence, data analytics, and so I have to use software. This computer was not compatible with any software that I would ever use ever. That was the worst. And I was in like crunch time to get that computer out, research and find a new computer. That probably was the worst purchase I've ever made. Honestly, I'll say frugal. I'm pretty frugal and.
That's all right. I ain't mad at you. So we didn't do no any kind of research before we bought the.
Not enough.
This look good. Let me get this. This is in my price range. This is in my price range. And let me.
That's what it was. That's literally what it was. All my cars have been very, very good cars. All my TVs have been good TVs. Furniture's been good furniture. If the food is nasty, I'm gonna just send it back. So I don't know if that's a bad purchase. Yeah, I had to go with that computer. That was the worst. Yes, ma'am.
So how do we get our work done then? For
new laptop. Get a new laptop. I had to run that one back and do some research. I guess putting that working on the front end would have saved me, but I did it eventually.
We learned hard head make a soft. Yeah, that's
all. Don't it?
All righty here, Brother Watkins. Please tell us how we learn more about Beta Mu Lambda and check out one of your events, maybe support the chapter, just if we're passing through, get some sweet tea and a donut or whatever, just tell us the whole thing.
So let me pull up our website here so I can give y'all the exact handle. I'm wanting to make sure that I had it correct because it's in my favorites. So it really is. If you want to go to our website and check out what we're doing and get connected with us, you can just go to www.betamulambda.org. Okay. Right, and that'll lock you in with us. You can find our calendared events. I encourage everybody, if you have a Facebook page, add us on Facebook, follow us on Facebook. We show a lot. We've done lives where we have, panel discussions, things like that. So that's a good opportunity just to lock in and see what we're doing. If you want to donate or give, same method, you want to go to our website, or you can reach out to us through Facebook. We do have an Instagram page as well. I believe it's Beta Mu Lambda 1939. You can follow us on there and see some of our beautiful faces. See a couple birthday shout outs.
Such a handsome faces you guys are.
Thank you. Yeah, come lock in with us and see what we're doing. But we're so excited. We want to connect with as many people as possible. Even if you have no interest in Greekdom, if you care about your community, connect with us. Yes. We care about our community and we care about your community as well. We're always willing to speak. We're always willing to represent, because all in all, we're only as good as our weakest link. So we all want to be strong and connect together. So please connect with us, reach out to us, send us an email. Again, add us on Facebook, Instagram, and just look forward to what we're doing. We're excited.
Awesome. I have truly enjoyed myself and picking your brain about a few things and learning from you. And like I said, you guys are down the road from my birthplace. So maybe next time I get in town, I'll have to peek in on y'all and see what y'all got. See if y'all passing out them eggs I suggested.
Give us a shout. Look, I'll make sure we save a dozen for you.
That's right. Because I'm frugal like you. I'll be like, wait a minute. He said they might have some free eggs. I might.
Look, if you get out there, you don't see me. Say Jay told me that y'all are gonna have a dozen for me. We'll make sure we get it for you. You got my word.
Well, to your small but powerful and impactful chapter, I just wish you continued, sir, success and serving the community. It's much needed, and I'm pretty sure You've heard it many, many times, but everybody appreciates the work that you do. And I mean, I just love to see you guys coming. And I've always enjoyed you guys over the years, just watching the work that you guys do, letting everybody know you guys do more than just stroll.
Exactly. We do more than stroll and wear cologne and bow ties. We do a little
Y'all
bit
actually work. Y'all actually do the work. So,
Do the
you
work.
know, I like you guys, you know, being that example to the community, you know, so we need to see that. So I just thank you and appreciate all you gentlemen for the work that you do, you know, the servant work that you do.
And we appreciate you. Thank you so much for your kind words. That means a lot to us because again, we don't do it looking for anything in return, but it feels a lot better when you know that your work is having an impact. And so thank you
Here
so much.
I am clapping for y'all. I'm clapping for y'all.
We need it. We appreciate it. We appreciate it.
I know, because some of us, you know, you're trying to serve the community, and some of us make it difficult. But I'm
Oh yeah, we're gonna get some pushback, but we're gonna keep pushing. We're gonna push back
That's
too.
right.
So,
That's all y'all do. That's all y'all do.
We'll get it done. We'll get it done, Lord willing. Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. You will. Awesome. Well, that is all for this week's episode of The Male Perspective. I'm your host, Lana Reid, and I will see everybody next time.